All right, let's move on to the drum overheads. And then after that, we'll move on to the hi-hat and toms. Let's hit play here. All right, so not bad. First thing you notice is a lot of low end. What I used here is the F6 by Waves and the British Class A by Softube. Typically, I'll use the F6 specifically for its dynamics taming uses, and I've started to experiment with using it as an EQ as well, sort of an all-in-one. And what you'll notice on this recording, the overhead just a lot of mids and low mids get in the way. So first thing I did was a big cut at what is that, 1K, 1K, and didn't do anything there. Did a little bit of dynamics taming at 2.4K and a little bit of another little drop at 4.5K. That's about it. All right, so let me show you what we did there. So here's with the disengage. All right. Through high pass at 76, which is pretty low, and clear some space that wasn't really being picked up. There's still a lot of low mids there. I'll deal with that later. A little bit of dynamics here. A little bit of cut here. So the reason I'm doing these right here, well, this one rather, is to play with a little bit of edginess in the snare hits. All right, now for the British Class A. So here I did some drive, compression, and a lot of cutting on the EQ. So I did turn the input gain, so turn the whole thing up. Turn that down, actually. And then cut at 1.4K, cut at 110, which will be a shelf, I believe. Yeah, it's a low shelf. And high shelf at 10K, like 1.7 dB. So I'm going to turn these off. So here's just with the input gain up and the drive with character. Here's without. Here's with. All right, here's with the EQ. This adds a little more air to the top end and the compression. So I'm hitting a fair amount. What is that? 5 dB, something like that. It's more than I'll usually hit on the overhead, but works well. All right, and here's with everything in there. Let's add some toms, huh? Beautiful. All right. Now let's play with these drum overheads a little bit. I'm going to move that hi-hat to, well, we'll move stuff around. Anyway, let's play with the drum overheads a little bit. So I'm going to mute these. We'll start with this F6 again. All right. So let's bring in this high pass. Now, typically, especially me, I like the overheads really capturing the whole kit. In this particular case, it's doing that pretty well. I just want to tone down the low end. So we're going to do something a little differently than what I ended up with. I'm just going to play with the shelf. We're going to do this on the 1. So that's sort of encompassing all of the low end of the actual drum hits. And we're just going to drop this. And for funsies, let's do a bit of dynamics control, huh? Might as well use this. Might as well use this. All right, 4 on the attack. See right here, about 660 hertz, you see on that line it spikes. I'll assume that's where my mud's sitting, so we'll take this. Let's drop that down. Okay, on this 4th guy right here. Take a little attack out of that snare. All right, here's without. Just a little muddy. Here's with. You see I'm not doing it too much to the top end. All right, let's throw on the British Class A. Play with that a little bit. I'm not going to play with this input gain this time, but we are going to play with the drive. Do more with the top end. Turn that down a bit. Now let's play with some general compression. Turn that attack up to 12. Do a 2-to-1. All right, see what we got. Definitely makes it a little livelier, and we're going to add since we did most of the EQ this round on that F6, let's play around with the shunt. That's too much. All right. 10K. Let's bring everything else in, shall we? All right, not a bad start. I'll probably keep what I got with the first round, but I think that's not a bad start. Yeah, just different way to go about things. A little more use out of the F6 than what I ended up in the recording. All right, thank you very much. Next, we'll move on to the toms.